President Trump holding 5 rallies in 4 states on election eve, finishing up his last event in Grand Rapids, Michigan just moments ago. Joe Biden rallying supporters in 2 states, Monday, Ohio and Pennsylvania. So does the president's intense barnstorming around the country concern the Biden campaign? Let's bring in Biden campaign surrogate now. Kevin Wallings is joining us. So I want to touch on personality first, Kevin. Look, the president, he's a crowd pleaser. Yes, his rallies defy CDC guidelines to prevent the spread of coronavirus, but people, well, they're showing up. Conversely, you've got the former vice president and his running mate Kamala Harris following the guidelines, taking the uptick in the virus very seriously, holding those drive-in style rallies, not as visually exciting. However, in the past few days, including tonight, you know, the stars came out for Biden and Harris. You got Lady Gaga, John Legend tonight, Stevie Wonder on Saturday. Do you think Biden can beat the president in the enthusiasm battle? And do you think these rallies correlate to voters?
Sure, Arthel, it's great to be with you. Of course, we're seeing great enthusiasm on the ground with the Biden campaign across the country. As you know, the vice president and Senator Harris were barnstorming Pennsylvania. Today started their morning, the former vice president in Ohio. And of course, you saw President Obama down in Miami with great enthusiasm there. But I think the point that you made at the outset, the Biden campaign has been fully compliant with CDC guidelines, while the Trump campaign has flouted that to a really serious degree. And you saw a recent Stanford University study, nonpartisan. This is a scientific study that showed that nearly 30,000 individuals that had attended a Trump rally in the past 6 months since the COVID outbreak have come down with the virus, and hundreds of those individuals have succumbed to the virus, which again, I think speaks volumes to the degree to which the Trump campaign is willing to put their supporters really in harm's way in some of these events.
But Kevin, you know, I don't have those stats in front of me that you just quoted, but I'm asking you, again, you look at the pictures, people are showing up at the rallies. And I wanted to ask you again, do you think that correlates to votes? Are you concerned about that at all?
So I don't think it necessarily corresponds to votes. As you're seeing, the Trump campaign and the president's remarks are really geared towards his base. Certainly his base is engaged with him this cycle. They're fired up. They wait hours at a time to see him. That speaks volumes, again, to his base engagement. But does it actually translate into real votes, both in the early votes and what we're still going to see tomorrow? That's anyone's guess. I think you're seeing also the enthusiasm gap with grassroots donations, right? So the vice president released numbers that 5.5 million individual Americans had donated to his campaign. Compare that, millions more than what the Trump campaign saw. So in terms of actually Americans stepping up and giving to a campaign, you're seeing a lot more enthusiasm with the vice president's campaign.
All right, I want to switch from personality to the pandemic and policy. Does the pandemic outbreak policy in this 9th inning, I mean, what will drive voters to the polls hours from now? Excuse me, is it who's better suited to get us out of this pandemic, or whose policy would benefit most Americans, or is it a package deal?
I think it's a package deal, right? I don't think it's a winning argument for the Trump campaign and for the president to be out there saying that he's going to fire Dr. Fauci. Whether you like him or not, in terms of the president, Dr. Fauci has remarkable support among the American people because he levels with the American people, just as the vice president has done in saying he will defeat this virus, not put the country into more lockdowns, but focus attention on this virus, compared to the president who's out there, again, flouting CDC guidelines, saying that we've turned a corner. Americans know better, and Americans want their next president to tell the truth, which is what the vice president has been doing all along during this pandemic.
Okay, Biden surrogate Kevin Walling, thank you for joining us. And just want to let you guys know that we're going to have a Trump surrogate for the president coming up in a moment.